big win against Baylor at home the other day. Number 9 Baylor got knocked off by that last second buzzer beater by our man Tyrese Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a season-saving game. You know, we had the West Virginia game, which was a disaster. West Virginia took down Kansas, so it's not looking too terrible. We see Oklahoma tomorrow night, which is exciting, on Tuesday night, and that's a big rivalry game in Norman that we have to win. They have Ortega and McCollum, 2 really strong guards. UCF was a disaster. West Virginia was a disaster. Texas Tech, obviously not a great start to Big 12 play in college hoops. And then we get the Baylor Bears at home. And any way you slice it, like Baylor, they have Scott Drew, who's won a national championship before. They are a true powerhouse in college basketball. They have Misi, their big man, who's a pro, and they have Jacoby Walter, who will probably be a top 10 pick and exemplify that, in my opinion, on Saturday. When, you know, really aggressive rebounding, great from the line, good at getting to the rack. Kind of reminded me of even more efficient game than Keontae George had against us last year, when he felt like he was getting to the line every single play.
Yeah.
But when push came to shove, Texas came out shooting, right? And Asmus had a really strong game, not only shooting the basketball, but for facilitating for us as well, with 7 assists. You brought up Tyrese Hunter, who had the game-winning shot, and I like what Rodney Terry did with the no call on the timeout, and, you know, trusted our boys, had a good play that they knew to get to drawn up that they could execute, and caught Baylor on their heels defensively. And he ran it up the gut and piped it down the middle. And it was a really awesome take. Once he had a full head of steam and he was driving to the pin, like you were really confident he was going to score. Like, he was moving down quick, and he had an excellent game. DeSue's coming into form. Mitchell, I think, you know, we herald him all the time for coming back, and I think he'll still need another year of seasoning, but his role is getting more and more carved out. He's an uber athlete, and DeSue was in foul trouble too in the game. But Shedrick was a nice spell guy for him. I would love to see us rebound a bit better, my personal opinion. I like Weaver as a defensive spark plug. Leaves a lot to be desired. Offensively. I love Brock Cunningham and what he brings, but ultimately, I'm glad that he is towards the back end now of the rotation. He's a really good spark guy, really good glue guy, but there are other better basketball players in this team, and they need to be worked into the rotation more. I like, you know, the 2 bigs getting good, valuable minutes, and Shedrick and DeSue, of course, who's arguably our best player in a given game. And then Mitchell, you know, like playing Cunningham's position, like leading the charge in minutes. And he's really strong defensively, and he's a real threat as a high flyer. And yeah, just like a really nice element that not every team in college basketball has on offense. So really amazing win, saves our season. We would have been 1-4 in Big 12 play, which would have pretty much put a nail in the coffin, in my opinion, going forward, because it gets more daunting. Again, OU is really good. We have to play BYU. We have to play Kansas. Our schedule doesn't get any easier by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I mean, we play Houston at home, thank God, in next week. And then, you know, it's still a gauntlet. Iowa State's ranked. We're at Kansas. We have to go back to Tech, and we have to go to Baylor. Like, this honestly, like, was as much of a must-win game as we could have imagined in January.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it changes the team morale and just what's going on in the locker room. You lose a game like that, you know, against Baylor. This is one of the last times you play them. Is it the last time we play them on the schedule? Do we have them again? Because, I mean, we're leaving the Big 12.
We go to Waco.
Okay. So we go to Waco, because I know that we don't play every team twice this year because we added so many new teams. But yeah, I mean, that's the last home game that you will see Baylor. So it's a resounding win. It's big for the program, big for the morale of the locker room, and just getting these guys, you know, to feel good about themselves, because we're going to blink and February is going to be over and we'll be in March. And that's that. And that's when, you know, you really need to start putting things together. I mean, this team, I still think, has a lot to prove. You know, there's so many new guys that come in the building, and the transfers, you know, young guys that have come up, but also there's some veteran leadership there that, you know, really is looking to make a statement here and put a stamp on their college careers, and the clock is ticking. So hopefully they ride this momentum and they continue to roll with the punches, and they can continue to have success in conference play and knock off a string of wins. And once you get confident, anything can happen in March.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got to get there. Of course, I think West Virginia.
Like, I think
it's not a
early
lock
this
by
season,
any.
we thought we were locked in to make it. We're like, this will be an easy, you know, bid to get in there. But there's been some ugly losses that I think have made us question ourselves. But looks like we're getting back on track.
Yeah, we are, but we're swinging from our heels a little bit, like you're saying. Like the UCF loss is not good. The West Virginia loss is not good. The
Terrible,
Cincinnati
both
one,
terrible.
the Texas Tech one, I could stomach. Like they're always a good basketball program, no matter who their head coach is. But the
Right.
West Virginia loss, yes, I know Kansas lost them. That's a really bad loss. And the UCF one, them coming all back into that game is pretty disastrous.
Mhm.
So we are playing and get backs against the wall. Houston looks really excellent. They scare me. I don't think we'd be as lucky going into Baylor at the end of the season. So the real pickup wins, like our magic number, we're 13-5 right now.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to get to 20 wins somehow. I think we have the home games we have to really sweep almost, in my opinion, and that's Iowa State, West Virginia, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. We have to win all those games, and Oklahoma at the last game at the end of the year. That gets us to 18 wins. And then we're going to have to go on the road at TCU and win that game, and we're going to have to beat Baylor on the road. If all those things happen, and then that includes me anticipating us dropping a game against Houston at home, dropping at Houston, at Kansas, at Texas Tech, and at Baylor. But if all those other things happen, I think we make the dance, probably as like an 8 or
Yeah.
9 seed.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're optimistic. We think this could happen, but at the end of the day, like, you guys gotta perform on the court.
Yeah.
One thing that I forgot to mention about football recruiting, we had mentioned last week that DeAndre Robinson, D lineman, was looking to get out of his letter of intent, and that ended up happening. And we thought he would go to LSU, right, to follow Bo Davis. Committed to Florida.
Mistakes.
Pretty interesting. So
Big
it's
old
cool. I
mistake.
mean, they stole one from us, but we stole a bigger one from them in Xavier Filsaime. So I guess I'll take that switch. But yeah, at the end of the day, look, if a guy's unsure about being here and doesn't want to rep the burnt orange, then whatever. We're better off without you. But wish you the best of luck. But the Bo Davis thing, there's a ripple effect. Hopefully we fill the shoes here pretty soon. I've been hearing some pretty cool names, but at the end of the day, I mean, they just got to fill that position with someone that's going to inspire these young men to be animals out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully Jabbar Muhammad's taking a visit to Alabama, but we have his cousin there in Malik. So hopefully that news comes this week and we lock
Yeah.
that down. It'll be pretty exciting.
I mean, look, it's cool to go back to go to Bama and like play for your head coach that you've played for the last couple of years. But like, how many guys have the opportunity to play with family, at the
Yeah.
same university as family? Not many. And so I think that's an X factor that Texas has, an edge. The Muhammad cousins on each side, Muhammad Islands
Yeah. Muhammad
across from each
Island would
other.
be
So that'd
sick.
be pretty cool.
Yeah. Be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, great stuff. We'll see you guys. We have a special one. We teased it last week. It was supposed to happen last week. It's happening this week, tomorrow. Very exciting. Something we never done in the Horns Up history of the show. So get pumped for it. Fisher, DJ, Nikki, Snacks Crider. We'll see you guys next time.
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics. We out ya. We love ya.